This is the third article for week 7. This is the choice article. You're welcome to read any of the articles in the magazine that you'd like, but for just an option, I'm recording Saving America's Wolves, which starts on page 8. They were hunted and killed until they almost disappeared. Now these fierce and important creatures are making a comeback. By Kristen Lewis. Before I start reading the article, I'm going to take a look down here at the vocabulary. So for your vocabulary, you have predators, animals that kill and eat other animals, extinct, no longer existing, food chain, order in which living things depend on each other as a source of food, ecosystems, groups of living and non-living things that affect each other, and conservation, related to the protection of animals, plants, and nature. So at the top here, imagine you are a gray wolf in the Montana wilderness. You are one of the most feared predators on Earth. Your teeth can rip through skin and crush bone. Animals many times your size run when they see you. But there is one creature that fills your heart with fear: humans. For hundreds of years, humans in America have hunted, poisoned, and trapped your kind. They have almost made you extinct, and they aren't finished with you yet. Pause and think. What are wolves afraid of? Why? The big bad wolf. Zoom in here a little bit. Before the 1800s, as many as 2 million wolves lived in America. They roamed the leafy forests of New England. They howled across the deserts of the Southwest. They splashed through the icy rivers of the Rocky Mountains. But then people began to move to new parts of America. These people were called pioneers, and they were terrified of wolves. They told their children stories in which wolves were human-eating monsters. Americans' fear of wolves soon grew into hatred. That's when wolves began dying out. I'm turning on to page 10 now. So it's at the top of page 10. Humans shot them with guns. They tricked them into eating poisoned meat. They caught them in sharp metal traps. They turned their fur into hats and coats. The wolves were gone. By the 1920s, there were none left in most of the Americas. Pause and think. What happened to wolves in the 1800s and early 1900s? Not a monster. 50 years later, many people started to realize that wolves are not monsters. They are actually afraid of humans. People also began to understand that Earth needs wolves. Why? As wolves began to disappear, the number of elk in parts of the U.S. The number of elk grew in parts of the U.S. That's because wolves weren't there to hunt them. These elk gobbled up trees and grasses that other animals needed to survive. Without these trees and grasses, birds couldn't build their nests. Beavers couldn't build their dams. Wolves are what are called apex predators, animals at the very top of the food chain. Apex predators are a necessary part of the ecosystems where they live. Without apex predators, the natural world is out of balance. Killing off wolves was a terrible mistake. So the U.S. government passed a law that protected them from being hunted. Pause and think. Why was killing off wolves a terrible mistake? Set free. In the 1990s, wildlife experts came up with a bold plan. They decided to bring wolves back. The experts caught 31 gray wolves up in Canada. These wolves were then set free in Yellowstone National Park, 2.2 million acres of wilderness in Montana, Wyoming, and Idaho. Scientists hoped that these wolves would have pups and form new packs. Packs are groups of wolves that live and hunt together. The plan worked. In fact, it was a huge success. In less than 2 decades, 1,600 wolves were in the Yellowstone area. Today, the government says that wolves are no longer in danger of becoming extinct. Pause and think. What happened when the wolves were set free? Down here for our caption, wolves travel in groups called packs. The size of a pack can range from 2 wolves to 36, but it is usually around 6. These packs hunt and play together. A fierce debate. Many Americans are thrilled to have wolves back. Thousands of people travel to see them every year, or in Yellowstone National Park every year. And wolves are helping to fix the ecosystem in Yellowstone too. Elk populations are now much smaller and healthier. But not everyone is happy about the return of wolves. Some hunters complain that wolves hunt the same animals they do. Some farmers are angry because wolves kill their cows. A few states have decided to allow people to once again hunt wolves outside of national parks. New experts are working hard to make sure that the wolves do not disappear again. They are raising wolves in conservation centers and then releasing them back into the wild. These conservation centers also have programs that teach people how important wolves are. Pause and think. How have wolves helped the ecosystem in Yellowstone? At peace with people. Imagine again that you are a mighty gray wolf. You are trotting through the snow with your pack. Suddenly you sense that a human is nearby. Fear washes over you. You run across the snow, but you aren't fast enough. A man has something aimed at you. Click. You fall. Everything goes dark, but you are not dead. This human did not come to kill you. He has come to help you. It was not a bullet that hit you. It was a dart full of a drug that has put you into a deep sleep. The man rushes to your side. He is an expert who studies and cares for wolves. He and his team weigh you and measure your paws. They record notes in their journals. Everything they learn will help them better understand you and your kind. Of course, you don't know any of this. You are still fast asleep. When you wake up, the man is gone. You stand and lift your head high. Then you let out a long howl. In the distance, your pack howls back to you. They are waiting for you to come home. Pause and think. What happened when the wolf was asleep? I'm going to go up to the top here and look at why the world needs wolves. Wolves are at the top of the food chain. They help keep nature in balance. Here's one example of what could happen if wolves disappeared. 1. After many years of being hunted, wolves vanish from America's wilderness. 2. With wolves gone, fewer elk are hunted. The number of elk goes way up. 3. Elk gobble up trees and grasses that other animals need to survive. Some birds have nothing to use to build their nests. Where will I live? Okay, we're going to go ahead and turn to page 12 for our activity. Okay, at the top of page 12, it reads, "You've just read Saving America's Wolves. Now do this activity to help you better understand the article." Tip: text evidence means details in a story that support an answer or show that it is true. Over here, the caption for this picture says tracking device. This gray wolf is wearing a radio collar around its neck, or his neck. Scientists put these collars on wolves so they can track them and study them. Going down to the bottom. So for each of these, we have a question, and then we're going to answer using the text evidence. And it does give us some hints here. Number 1 is already done for us. Why had most wolves disappeared from America by the 1920s? The answer: humans were scared of wolves, so they shot them, poisoned them, and trapped them. And it gives us the hint to look for the answer in the section The Big Bad Wolf. Number 2, who brought wolves back to America? How did they do it? So the hint for this is to look for the answer in the section Set Free. Number 3, what have wolves done to anger hunters and farmers? Look for the answer in the section A Fierce Debate. How are conservation centers helping wolves today? Your hint here is to also look for the answer in the section A Fierce Debate. As always, if you need anything, please ask me. Down at the bottom here it says, what do your answers tell you about how humans and wolves get along? So if you need anything, please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you.